Now to the 49ers quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, getting a lot of attention today as he's defending his national anthem protest.
This stand wasn't because I feel like I'm being put down in any kind of way. This is because I'm seeing things happen to people that don't have a voice.
We are now joined by the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Alveda King is here on maybe what her uncle would think of the protest and certainly what she thinks of it. What did you make of this? Colin Kaepernick, the football player, refusing to stand for the national anthem.
I believe that since Colin chose to demonstrate nonviolently and peacefully, that is something that should be acknowledged. I don't know why he picked this moment in history to make this statement through a peaceful protest. It was very jarring. It was very disturbing to so many who love America, because one of the few times that Americans come together in unity is during the singing of the national anthem. I sing the national anthem, and when I do so, it's with prayer that God will bless us and help America, you know? Yeah. So I know that he had a purpose for doing that, and I know that people are very, very upset. I believe that we should be praying, and those of us who have a voice, to show Colin what's still good about America, and then just work to make America better.
Now, if someone feels in a similar way to the way he feels, thinks that maybe like police brutality is an issue that needs to be brought to the forefront, which is one of the things that he's talked about, what would be a better way of going about it? Because you're right, many people have brought up the fact that the national anthem maybe wasn't the place for this. What is a place for something like this?
He used his moment and he stepped into it and he embraced it. He owned it. I believe, though, when he says America is racist, as one who lived in the 20th century, I marched with my dad, Reverend A.D. King. I attended rallies with my uncle, Martin Luther King Jr. I marched and went to jail for causes. So America is not racist. There is racism in America. So he has given us the conversation. He's put it straight into our face. And now we have to respond and show him that America can be better.
You disagree, but you see the way that he went about it, at least being in a peaceful way, as being something that's admirable. So that's interesting. I do want to talk to you a little bit about the politics of the day as well, and particularly Donald Trump. I mean, he continues to try to court minority voters, something that's been a theme here the last few days. Here's a tweet from Mr. Trump from this morning. Now that African Americans are seeing what a bad job Hillary-type policy and management has done for the inner cities, they want Trump. Now, he was criticized over the weekend for another tweet about the cousin of Dwayne Wade who was shot and killed, and he said again at the end of that tweet something similar. Voters in the African-American community will go for Trump. What have you made of all this?
Well, I want to take a quick second to say people have said that I've endorsed Mr. Trump. I don't endorse candidates anymore. The last candidate I endorsed was in 2007. Okay. So I pray for all the candidates and I vote pro-life. I want to clear that up. But I believe that Mr. Trump has said something very significant. He dared to step out of some boundaries and to say to African Americans, vote for me. I care about your vote. Sometimes the Democrats take African Americans for granted, and sometimes the Republicans don't pay very much attention to the African-American voice or vote at all. Right. So I think that's very unique, and I believe that going into these inner cities is going to cause us to take another look at what's happening.
He's going to make this speech. Would you think, you think it's a good idea Saturday in Detroit?
I believe it's good to go there. I've been to Detroit myself, and it's so suppressed and oppressed. Right. Detroit, all the inner cities need help, and if Mr. Trump can help, let him go to Detroit.
Okay, Dr. King, it's a pleasure to speak with you, and thanks very much for joining us today. Now, speaking of Donald Trump,